And so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Nissan in Frederick, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in the brand new 2025 Nissan Sentra because this is a good looking compact car. Very well maybe the most affordable compact car in this segment as well. And new for 2025, you do get 2 years or 24,000 miles of complimentary maintenance now as well. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are several different trim levels for the 2025 Sentra. First one being the S, starting at $21,590, which is a $960 bump from the 2024 model year, in case you were curious. But having said that, it is still cheaper than the Civic, the Corolla, and the Mazda 3. I know that at least. But then you have the SV starting at $22,290, and the SR, being the one we are in today, starting at $24,590. But regardless of the trim level that you go with, the power plant on the Sentra is going to be the same. Powering the little beast is a 2-liter direct injected inline 4-cylinder, putting out 149 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 146 pound-feet of torque coming in at 4,000 RPM. That power being sent to the front wheels through a CVT. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 9.2 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 30 in the city, 40 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the Sentra, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. So drive modes will include normal, eco, and sport. Now the eco and sport buttons are both in 2 different places for some reason. So eco button is going to be located kind of by the driver's left knee, and then the sport button is actually a horizontal line, which is located on the shifter itself, in case you were curious about that. So anyways, adjusting things like the shift points and the throttle response. So now that I've got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2025 Nissan Sentra here up to speed. All right, so I got it in that sport driving mode in 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, there it is. All right, so it's a little bit slow off the line, but once it gets up higher in the RPMs, it does get up and go a little bit better. But again, it's not the quickest thing in the world. 0 to 60 in 9.2 seconds isn't the best number in the world, but it'll get you from point A to point B, and it should be perfectly fine, so no issues there. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so the braking configuration is actually going to differ between the trim levels, believe it or not. So for that S trim level, you get front disc rear drum brakes. However, for the SV and the SR, you do get 4-wheel disc brakes. So you're gonna get substantially better stopping power with the SV and the SR, I'll just put it that way. As far as that 60 to 0 stopping distance goes, it comes in at 114 feet, which is a sport sedan number. That's a heck of a number right there. As far as braking feel goes, I love it. It is definitely on the firmer side of things. So you do come to an immediate stop here in the Sentra, so that is definitely a good thing. So I love the braking feel in this. But anyways, then touching on suspension and handling. Up front, you're going to get an independent strut type front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars. As far as ride quality goes, as we are cruising over some really smooth roads right now, it's been perfectly fine on our short little test drive, so absolutely no issues there. But I think the highlight of this car that I noticed the second I started driving it, it's always the steering feel. I love the steering feel on the Sentra. It's such a nice weight to it. Reminds me of the Mazda 3. It tends to weigh a little bit more on the heavier side of things, so it does instantly put you in the direction that you want to go. A lot of other compact cars like the Corolla, let's say, have a very loosey-goosey steering feel, so there's no emotion, there's no play to that, and there's no fun driving it. But with the Sentra, you got a lot more fun cruising through some back roads just because of the playful steering feel in this thing. I absolutely love it. As far as cabin noise goes, we're going 40 miles per hour right now. It's actually surprisingly serene, so I got no issues there. And touching on rear visibility, because of the shape of the Sentra, you're definitely not going to have any issues there either. I can see perfectly fine out the rear view mirror. So that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's go find a cool spot and let's take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2025 Nissan Sentra. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Nissan Sentra, finished in a 2-tone color combo with the white with the black roof. I think that definitely looks good. That's why I particularly picked this one out today. But anyways, as always, let's go ahead and start with where the Sentra is made, taking a look at the VIN. First character is the number 3, indicating that the new Sentra is built and assembled in Mexico, in case you were curious. But as always, starting up front, you got that Nissan V-Motion front grille with active grille shutters, meaning the shutters are going to open and close dependent upon the engine cooling that is needed at any given time. Got some chrome or gloss black accents dependent upon the configuration that you go with. To the sides, halogen headlights coming standard on the S and SV trim levels. However, LED headlights with LED daytime running lights coming on the SR that we have with us here today. You do get the automatic feature though with all trim levels. You also get automatic high beams with all trim levels as well. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. So I personally love that one. And of course, since we have the SR trim level, you got the red SR badging found in the upper corner of the front grille as well, which definitely looks good in my opinion. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the Sentra, chrome beltline molding does come standard. Got a floating roof line as well, although you can't really tell with the two-tone color combo, but the seat pillar there is separated the roof from the rest of the body, in case you were curious about that. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They are gloss black though with the SR trim that we have today. Heated side mirrors coming with the SV and SR trims, and then integrated turn signals on the SR trim level only. Another thing I wanted to mention though, since we're on the side here, as far as the door handles go, they are body colored for the SV and SR. However, they are a matte black finish for the S trim level. Sorry, the wind is picking up. Hopefully it's not coming through on the microphone. But anyways, then take a look down at the wheel setup. 16-inch steel wheels with covers for the S trim level, 16-inch aluminum alloys for the SV, and 18-inch aluminum alloys for SR that we have with us here today. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the Sentra, all the way to the top, you will find a shark fin antenna. As far as that rear spoiler goes, that is going to be had with the SR trim level only. It is a body colored rear spoiler. I think it looks amazing on the Sentra personally. I think it looks a lot better than without it, but that's just my personal opinion. You do get that SR badging yet again if you go with the SR trim level. The only thing I think I would add if I were Nissan to the rear end of this one is LED taillights. I think that would be nice since all the other compact cars come standard with them. The Sentra does not, unfortunately. But just below it all, you will find a single exhaust outlet. It will come with a chrome tip for the SR trim level only. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the Sentra, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, there is a button on the key fob. You can pop it that way, and there's a rubberized button on the trunk itself then as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 14.3 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. Of course, you have cargo lighting back there. Grocery bag hooks are actually going to be optional for the Sentra. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, which I always like to see. But then make our way up to the rear legroom. That's going to come in at 34.7 inches for reference. I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the rear seats there. Rear center armrest with cup holders coming with the SV and SR trim levels. USB charging port is going to be optional for the rear passengers there. We do actually have that option, so that's always nice to keep the kids charged up back there. No rear ventilation back there, in case anybody was curious. That's not a feature that comes standard on compact cars. The Civic doesn't get it, the Corolla doesn't get it, so that's pretty much the standard, unfortunately. But then make your way up to the front seats. Manually adjustable cloth seats for the S and SV trims. Sport cloth with orange stitching for our SR trim that we have with us here today. I think it looks pretty darn good. Quilted leather available for the SV. That is amazing. I love that setup. And then heated front seats are going to be optional on the SV and SR. But overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was actually really nice. And we kind of have this dual finish. Like the exterior of the seats are different than the interior of the seats. Like the inside of the seats are super soft, but overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was perfectly fine. I'm going to show a little test drive here today, so absolutely no issues there. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel, because this is pretty darn cool. You got tilt and telescoping. It is wrapped in urethane for the S trim level, but then leather wrapped for the SV and SR. Heated steering wheel is available for the SV trim level only, and it is a flat bottom as well, so it's definitely a cool look to it. So overall, big fan of the steering wheel. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. All of your buttons are on one side of the key. Nissan logo at the very top, of course. You got lock, unlock, the button to pop the trunk, like I was saying. The circular button at the very top, just underneath the Nissan logo, that is your remote start. That comes on the SV and SR trim levels if you wanted that. But overall, it is all keyless entry with a push button start for all trims. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just in front of the shifter. And so once started up, tachometer is on your left, speedometer is on your right. There is a fairly decent sized screen front and center, and to control what is on that screen, there are steering wheel mounted controls found on the left side of the steering wheel there. That can give you things like your digital speedometer if you wanted that. It gives you how many miles you have left until you hit empty. Trip A, trip B, there's your outside temperature. There's speed limit recognition where it tells you the speed limit of any given road up there. That's pretty cool too. The list goes on. So it's pretty much everything you could possibly want up there. It gives you tire pressure for each individual tire. Always like that because not every compact car gives you that either. So overall, it certainly gets the job done. It's got everything you need up there. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. If you wanted a power moonroof, that's going to be optional on the SV and SR, an option we don't have with us here today, unfortunately. Overhead sunglass holder is going to come standard for all trims across the board. Dual zone climate control for the SV and SR, so both driver and passenger can set their own temperatures there. You're going to find a frameless rearview mirror with HomeLink controls. If you wanted it, it's a $335 option, so I wanted to mention that. Wireless phone charger, by the way, is a $245 option. That's available as well. But just in front of the shifter, you got a little bit of rubberized storage, otherwise to put your cell phone there. There's a button to turn off the auto start stop system just in front of there as well. You got a bunch of hookups there. To the right of the shifter, you got your dual cup holders, and just behind those cup holders, there's actually a ton of space within the center armrest, probably more so than the Civic and the Corolla and the Mazda 3. That's a ton of space right there. But the cool thing is the finish, the carbon fiber look weave surrounding the cup holders is brought onto the doors as well to kind of surround the power window buttons. A lot of soft touch material on the doors here with the orange contrast stitching. I thought that was cool. Nice silver door handle. A lot of times that'll be a matte black plastic on the competition, so I like that as well. So overall, the interior quality is not bad. Maybe it's just our SR trim, but we got a lot of contrast orange stitching just above the passenger side glove box. It's everywhere, so definitely kind of not minding it for the price range that this vehicle is in. I'll just put it that way. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen here. You're going to find a 7-inch color touchscreen display for the S, but then an 8-inch color touchscreen display for the SV and SR trims. Either way, you get Bluetooth and audio streaming, you get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can check out your driving statistics up there if you wanted to, along with your radio information. So when it comes to the sound systems, there are actually 3 of them, believe it or not. So 4 speakers come on the S trim level. You're gonna find 6 speakers for the SV and SR trims, and then an 8-speaker Bose sound system is gonna be optional for any of those trim levels as well. So anyways, we do got the 6-speaker sound system with us here today. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the Sentra in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, the Sentra is an IIHS top safety pick for the SR trim level only because of the LED headlights. So just getting that out of the way right there. But front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, forward collision warning, autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane departure warning, rear automatic braking, lane trace assist, driver attention monitoring system, rear parking sensors, and a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert. That's a lot of standard safety right there. And then adaptive cruise control is going to come with the SV and SR trims if you wanted that. But overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Sentra, great pricing, the most affordable compact car in existence right now. That's definitely a good start. Also, amazing steering feel, amazing handling. Love the steering feel on this thing. As far as the playfulness and fun to drive factor goes, I would say Mazda 3 is number 1. Sentra is actually my number 2. Then it would be the Civic, and then the Corolla, I guess, as far as those 4 goes. The Corolla's got the best ride quality, but the Sentra, it's playful, man. It is fun to drive, I will say that. Very good braking as well. 60 to 0 and 114 feet. That is 100% a sports sedan number, so immediately brings you to to a stop. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Nissan on social media stuff at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe with the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts we put on our channel as well. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.
My heart rages